Welcome, everyone. Hello to Therapeutic Yoga today. We're going to do a nice class on our arms. So just a general class to focus on some nice strength of our arms, including our wrists, our elbows, and of course, our shoulders and shoulder blades. So that's what we have in store for today's class. You're only going to need a couple things for today's class: a yoga mat and a bolster to be seated on. Now, if you would like, for the very beginning of class, the things that we are doing seated on a bolster, by all means at home, if you want to do those things sitting in a chair, feel free to do that. No reason why you can't. We're just going to be doing general movements with our arms. So that could absolutely be done in a chair. All right. So with that being said, have yourself a seat on your bolster or on your chair, whichever you're preferring to do. Once you have yourself there, start with figuring out where your base of support is. So allow yourself to kind of rock and roll your pelvis a couple of times. Just appreciate how much movement of your pelvis that you actually have. Maybe even just close your eyes for a second to feel how much of a roll forward you have, how much of a roll backward you have. And then find that point where you feel like you're sitting on your sit bones. So you've got that pelvis in a neutral position as far as the bowl is concerned. And then once you have that nice tall spine, make sure that the rib cage is sitting directly over top of that pelvis. And simply from your hips, hinge just slightly forward until you feel weight into your legs. Well, if you're sitting in a chair, obviously that's weight into your feet. But if you're sitting on a bolster in easy pose like I am, that's weight into your entire legs. Once you have that, let's go ahead and take our hands, place our hands so our palms are facing forward, elbows are bent. Keep that spine nice and long. Give me a gentle shrug up just to shorten those upper trapezius a little tiny bit. And then just rotate your arms outward. Once you've rotated your arms outward, allow yourself now to kind of pull your elbows back and down and give your shoulder blades a nice good squeeze. Now with that nice good squeeze between those shoulder blades, just unrotate your shoulder joints one at a time and then place your hands onto your thighs. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. And we are ready to start centering ourselves. So we're going to start today with just a nice, easy breathing exercise before we get moving our body with the focus on arm strength. So allow yourself to find that still point in this good unsupported sitting, feeling the weight into your feet. Now that you have that there, gently place the tongue on the roof of your mouth so that the tip of the tongue is touching the back of those top teeth. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And then take a nice, slow, gentle, and deep inhale into your nose. See if you can make your belly expand outward. And then even slower exhale out through that nose. So the nose is made for breathing. The mouth is made for eating. That's the statement that should be known to everyone. So try not to breathe out through your mouth. Try to breathe out through that nose so we get that nice exchange of nitric oxide, which is the key thing we're doing when we nose breathe. All right, let's try that again. Slow inhale into your nose. Can you expand your belly outward? And then even slower exhale out. So don't worry so much about counting today. Just worry about where the breath is going in and out and that you're doing it nice and slow and not over breathing. Let's do two more of those. Just gentle, slow, deep inhale into the nose. And then gentle, slow exhale out through that nose as the belly just collapses. One more time here. Deep inhale into the nose. Belly expands. And exhaling out of that nose, belly collapses. You've got it. All right, let's open up our eyes, take our hands and place them in the center of our heart, and let's get working on this arm strength today. So let's start with a nice deep inhale. Lift your arms nice and high, palms to the roof of the ceiling. Get your spine nice and long here. And then as you exhale, let those arms come all the way down nice and slowly. Hands back to the center of your heart. Deep inhaling in. As you inhale, you're lifting not only your arms, you're lifting your spine up off that rib cage, palms to the ceiling. And then exhaling, really slowly exhaling, bringing those hands all the way down. And one more time, hands to the heart. Inhaling, lifting the hands, lifting the elbows, lifting the shoulders, lifting that rib cage all the way off the pelvis, palms to the ceiling, and then exhaling, coming all the way down. You've got it. Very, very nice. Now just gently place your left hand either on the side of your chair or the side of your bolster. Right hand, take an inhale, reach that hand forward, drop that right hand down onto the left knee. In this position, take a nice deep exhale out through that nose. Now, inhale, left hand, wherever it is, bolster chair. Sit up nice and tall as you straighten that left elbow. And then as you exhale with this right hand, just a gentle twist towards the left. Slowly turn your chin towards your left shoulder and gaze over that as you exhale. Staying here, give me a nice deep inhale. Can you make that inhale lift your rib cage up off of your pelvis? And then as you exhale, just keep that gaze towards that left side. Very nice. Now slowly bring your head back in line with your trunk. Slowly derotate your trunk. All right, rest the right hand on the bolster. Left hand out to the side for a second. Take that inhale, reach that left hand up. And then as you exhale, kind of bringing it up and over that right knee this time. Now, with this inhale, it's all about lifting up through the rib cage. So right hand on the chair or your bolster. Inhale, lift yourself nice and tall. And then with that left hand, as you exhale, just a very gentle opening as you slowly rotate to the right. And then take your chin and rotate even further towards that right shoulder. Now, holding this, take a nice deep inhale into the rib cage. Imagine yourself getting taller to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're still gazing over that right shoulder. Very, very nice. Slowly bring in your gaze and your head back in line with your rib cage and then derotating the rib cage. You've got it. All right, let's place our hands. So their hands are on the tops of our shoulders. So we're going to do some shoulder circles here. So here's the thing. We're going to be working on strong arms today. It doesn't mean we're working on big, bulky, overdeveloped arms. We're just trying to use every single muscle in our arms that we can. So we're going to start with our shoulder blades and make our way to our fingertips doing arm circles. So keep the fingertips on the shoulders for now. Let your elbows rest wherever they go. Now, try to roll your shoulder blades up and back and down. So don't make the movement happen through your shoulder joints. See if you can make that movement happen through your shoulder blades. So there's not a big movement of your elbows yet. It's just your shoulder blades that are rolling. And so as you're rolling your shoulder blades, feel yourself lift the shoulder blades up and back and down and forward, up and back and down and forward. Let's do a couple more times. Up and back and down and forward, and up and back and down and forward. You've got it. Now, allow yourself to shrug those shoulder blades back up and pull those shoulder blades back and down. Keep the shoulder blades back down. Now let's use these glenohumeral joints, the shoulder joints. Don't let your shoulder blades move. Can you do this? So start to do some circles with just your shoulder joints, keeping the shoulder blades back and down. So if you've chosen clockwise, counterclockwise, it does not make a difference, but allow yourself to keep those shoulder blades back and down as you move those shoulder joints, glenohumeral joints, into arm circles. All right, how's that going for you? Maybe even keep those shoulder blades back and down and try the opposite direction of your arm circles. Can you do that without letting your shoulder blades go? The muscles between my shoulder blades right now are actually starting to burn. I'm doing such a good job of strengthening them. All right, now relax your arms down, relax your shoulder blades for a second. And we're going to do it all over again, but we're going to take this all the way to the wrists. So fingertips onto the shoulders. Take your shoulders, shrug them gently up, rotate them back and down. So you'll feel your elbows kind of sit back in your pockets when you do that. Kind of look like a bird right now, right? So keep those elbows back and down, keep those shoulder blade muscles engaged. All right, now here's what you're going to do. Straighten the elbows out. Now, circles with the wrists as you keep those shoulder blades back and down. Arms do not need to be above your shoulders here. Keep them below your shoulders so you don't fatigue out or irritate your rotator cuff muscles. All right, now try circles with those wrists in the opposite direction. You've got it. As you're doing that, you're focusing on those shoulder blades back and down. Are you getting some nice burning in your shoulders? I hope you are. And then relax your arms back down, relax those shoulder blades. All right, we're going to do something called bear hugs next. So here's the thing. I want you to picture for a second that there's a gigantic bear sitting in front of you. Some people, especially in the Tai Chi world, they call this tree hugs. So you can call it a bear hug. That's the physical therapy world. If you're in the Tai Chi world, you can call it a tree hug. But just imagine a big trunk of a tree right here, or a big gigantic bear that you are terrified of touching. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to inhale our arms out. And then as we exhale, we're going to try to wrap our arms around that bear or around that tree without actually touching it. So what I really want you to picture is that your shoulder blades are coming out and around. You've got it. Inhale, open your chest, open your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades, lengthen your neck. You've got it. Now, hug that bear on that exhale. Exhale, shoulder blades come up and around as you bring your fingertips together. Very good. We're going to do this 3 more times. Inhaling, lengthen the spine, open up those shoulders, arms, wrists, lengthen the neck. You've got it. Exhale, hug that bear. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling. Now, when you inhale this time, can you make your rib cage longer? Can you open your arms even wider? And then as you exhale, give it a big hug. Feel those shoulder blades come up and around your rib cage. Excellent, guys. Last time here, inhaling, opening all the way up. And then as you exhale, bear hug, tree hug, whatever the heck you want to hug, just pretend that you're hugging it. And then relaxing back down. So we have already worked our anterior chest, our pectoralis muscles, all of those muscles between our shoulder blades, the front of our deltoids, the back of our deltoids, our wrist muscles, and we've just begun class. So understand, you don't need big, heavy, burly weights to always gain strong arms. All right, let's work on pivot prone now. Also known as cactus pose, also known as goalposts, has many, many names, but let's get it right. So bring your hands to the center of your heart. Maybe even put a smile on your face. Take that inhale, bring your arms up. Frame your hands up to the roof. So you're kind of raising the roof here. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine your palms coming down, your elbows coming out, so that your forearms are running perpendicular with a doorway. Imagine that you're sitting in a doorway right now, and the forearm on the right hand, the forearm on the left hand sit perfectly to touch those framed doors. So you're not with your wrists forward of your elbows. How close to that position can you get to at home? Now, turn your palms outward, pinkies to the back of the room. In this position, sitting nice and tall, can you check in for me that you've got weight into your feet? All right, now here's what we're going to do. I want you to equally pull your pinkies and your elbows back together. Can you feel those muscles between your shoulder blades engaging? Hold that position. Give me a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, relax that. So you're still in that goalpost position or cactus pose position or pivot prone position, but think about your forearms being perpendicular. Pinkies are pointing backwards right now. Give me a nice deep inhale, and elbows and pinkies together. Pull them back, opening up through the chest, strengthening through those shoulder blade muscles. And then exhale and relax right there. One more time. Give me that inhale, wrists, pinkies, elbows all pull back. Feel those shoulder blades and posterior deltoid muscles fire. And then as you exhale, relaxing it out. Beautiful. Dropping your arms down. Maybe do a couple shoulder circles. Other way. Have fun with yourself. You're just working on some strong arms here. Maybe you even want to get it physical and get moving with your arms up and out. All right, let's do a little bit of stretching for our rib cage before we get off of our chair or our bolster. So what I'd like you to do, if you're on the chair, just place your left hand on the chair. If you're on your bolster, option number one, place the hand on the bolster. Option number two, start yourself in a side bend and bring that hand all the way down to the floor on the outside of the bolster. You pick which way you want to do it. The lower your hand is on the floor, the more you'll feel this in your low back, not just your rib cage. Now, in this position, regardless of where you are today, I want you to take your right hand and bring it straight out beside you so that it's at shoulder height. Thumb is lifted up towards the ceiling right now. And really make sure that your chest is not pointed downward towards the floor. So see if you can get that horizontal alignment of left arm, chest, and right arm. All right. Now sit into your right sit bone. Take a nice deep inhale. Start to lift the right arm up. As you lift it up, imagine pointing that fingertip to the ceiling. Now, as you exhale, turn your palm towards your head and lift the arm up and over. So you're getting just the most gorgeous elongation through the low back muscles on the side, the rib cage muscles on the side, and all of those shoulder muscles that sit in that armpit. Allow yourself in this position to gently feel yourself pushing the chair, bolster, or floor away from you so that your left arm is active. Now with this right arm, index finger, can you inhale and lift it further away from you? Feel that length on the right side of your body. And then as you exhale, holding it here. Now one time, tongue to the roof of the mouth, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, give me a slow, deep inhale into your belly. Exhaling out. You've got it. Right arm, inhale, lifting it up. And then as you exhale, bringing yourself back up into a seated position. You look great, guys. Let's do the opposite side. So on the chair, the hand's going to be on the side of the chair. On the bolster, right hand's either going to be on the bolster or you're going to bring that hand down onto the floor so that you're going to get a little bit more strategically into your low back and not tackling just the rib cage here. Once you've found that position, make sure that your rib cage is not pointed downward. So a lot of us do that because we have tightnesses in our back and our latissimus muscle. Get that left arm, that rib cage, and that right arm all lined up. Take that left arm out to the side of you. All right, here we go. Take that inhale, lift that index finger as high up to the ceiling as you can, then turn the palm towards your head, and then exhale, side bend over. Now, in this position, push into your left sit bone and push your right hand away from the floor. All right, index finger on the left arm. Can you inhale and lengthen it further away from you? And exhale, find even more length through the side of your body. All right, maintaining everything right there. Deep inhale into the belly. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin, exhaling out. You've got it. Inhale, lift that left arm up, and then exhale, drop it back down. I mean, you feel taller just doing that, right? All right, let's take our hands. Interlace all of your fingers and your thumbs together, and then turn your palms away from you. So in this position, beautiful, good stretch for your flexor muscles here and your flexor tendons. Those of you that might be golfers or tennis players, nice, good thing to do every single morning in the shower. So in this position, keep pushing your palms away from you. Check in for one quick second that you've got some weight into your legs, regardless if you're sitting in a chair or in a bolster. All right, so take a nice deep inhale, lift those arms up. And as you reach those arms up, lift that chest out, lengthen that chin towards those knuckles, towards that ceiling. And then as you exhale, bring the chin back down. First, drop the chest and lower those arms. We're going to do that 2 more times. Really focus on those wrists and those palms being pushed away from you. Inhale, lifting those arms up, lifting that chest, and then lifting that chin as you gaze up towards those knuckles. Exhaling, drop the chin down first, drop the rib cage down second, and then bring those arms down. One more time here. Inhaling, lifting those arms, really stretching through those knuckles and those wrist flexors. Lift the chest, lift the chin. And then as you exhale, dropping the chin, dropping the chest, and then dropping the arms. Very, very nice. One last opener for our chest before we get off of these chairs and bolsters. So option number 1, that same interlace that you did, you're going to do that behind your back, so that your thumbs are pointed inward towards your bottom or your pelvis, however you want to think about that. Now, if you have issues with your shoulders that you cannot interlace your hands behind your bottom, option number 2 is to just bring the palms to the wrists. And so that would be option number 2. That requires a little bit less extension, a little bit less internal rotation of the shoulders, might feel more comfortable for you. Now, if you're battling with a shoulder issue and you're like, Trudy, there's no way that I can even do that, then all I want you to do is take your hands, place your hands so that your hands are on your hips like you're about to go, and just hold your hands in that position. So you pick which one is the most comfortable for you. Hands on hips, hands to wrists, or interlacing your hands behind your back. One is just a little bit more advanced than the other. Remember, guys, this is therapeutic yoga. So no modification means you're weak or don't have the ability to do the pose. It just means that the yoga pose is meeting you where you are. So be kind to your body and realize that you're making strides just for the fact that you're being here. Okay, now you pick whichever one you want. I've got my palms squeezed nice and tight and my fingers interlaced. Now, this is all about opening through the chest. So imagine where your collarbones are on the front of your shoulders, okay? Because what you're going to do with those collarbones on the front of your shoulders is widen them. So you're trying to pull them back and out. Ready? Let's give it a try. Give me a nice deep inhale and widen and lengthen those shoulder blades back and out. Feel that opening through the chest. You might have one chest muscle that's tighter than the other. That's okay. Maintain that position there as you just exhale that air out. Now give me a deep inhale into the chest. And exhaling out. Do you have one more breath here? Nice deep inhale into the chest. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Relax the arms again. Loosen up the shoulders. Maybe move the arms. Do what feels comfortable for you. Remember, nobody can see you. You're doing your yoga at home by yourself, but really, you're with a community. Okay, now, we are ready to get off these chairs and these bolsters. So here's all I want you to do. We are not going to be using the bolster for the rest of class. So simply just kind of sweep your feet to your left or your right side. If you're on your chair, make your way down to your mat, but then take your bolster and just simply move it out of your way so that you don't have to deal with it for the rest of class. Once you've done that, line up those knees, line up those sit bones with your heels. Slowly begin to rest your belly down onto your thighs, your chest down onto your knees, your elbows down onto your yoga mat. Lengthen your neck and settle the crown of your head down onto the floor. Find yourself in a beautiful yoga pose and just hold yourself right there. Okay. Let's do a couple nice deep, meaning deep, deep, deep into the lungs breaths. So keep your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Gaze back at your big toes. Allow yourself to take a deep inhale into your belly. And then slowly exhaling out.
And let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And then slowly exhaling out. Very nice. Now, slowly pushing yourself back up so that you're now, for the first time, in table position. This is a good opportunity to check in that those feet are in alignment with those knees. Stack those hips directly on top of those knees and walk those hands forward so that the wrists are directly underneath the elbows and shoulders. Index fingers are forward, thumbs are in, outer three fingers are out. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, gazing down towards your mat. Let's go through 3 cat-cows here. So allow yourself in this position to inhale, sink your belly, lift your tailbone, pull your shoulder blades back and down, lifting your chest, lifting your neck, and gazing that chin and eyes upwards. See if I can speak today, guys. Exhale, reversing all of that. So chin comes to chest, tuck the tailbone, abdominals go up and in as the spine curves up. Inhaling, sinking the spine down, lifting that tailbone up, lifting that chin and the gaze upwards. And then as you exhale, curling that all under, pushing into your index fingers and thumbs the entire time, engaging and strengthening through those arms. Inhaling, sinking, 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 lifting, lifting, lifting. That's what you're thinking. And then as you're exhaling, curling, 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 tucking, tucking, tucking. That's what you're thinking. And then slowly bring yourself back into your table pose. Okay, now we are going to try to do what's called a tabletop tricep push-up. Tabletop tricep push-up. So these are your triceps right here. This is tabletop. And so all that you're going to do in this position, check in that your weight is equally on your knees and your hands. You're going to take an inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to try to drop your elbows down towards the mat. Now, you can do this nice and get strong arms, or you can just slowly, fast drop yourself to the floor and not do anything about it. So the slower you do it, the better it is. The more you've got your abdominals engaged, the stronger you will be. So we're going to try to do 5 of these all together. Nice, slow inhales and exhales. Let's see if you have it in you. So take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly drop the elbows towards the mat. Your gaze goes straight back to your knees. Inhale, push into your index fingers and thumbs and bring yourself right back up to tabletop. You got it. Exhale, dropping down. Keep the neck long, chin tucked, gaze at your knees. And inhale, push yourself back up. Yes, your wrists are getting a workout too. Congratulations. Right here, exhaling, dropping down. Inhale, push yourself back up. We've got 2 more, guys. Exhaling, drop and drop and drop. Gaze goes down. Keep that neck nice and long, core is engaged. Inhale, up. Exhale, drop, drop, drop. I think that's 5, but I don't even remember. And inhale up, push, 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 push. All right, let's give the wrists and the arms a break. Slowly sit yourself back into child's pose. So sit the heels and the hips together, sit bones together, belly on the thighs, chest onto knees. Bend your elbows, rest yourself down, crown of the head to the floor. How did you do with your tabletop tricep push-ups? Because we're going to do one more round and make them harder if it was easy for you. Staying in your child's pose. Give me a nice deep inhale into the belly here. And exhaling out. One more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. All right, make your way back up onto hands and knees. Now, guys, if you struggled with your first tabletop tricep push-up, you're going to try to do the same thing. Really keep that spine alignment, keep your neck long, your chin tucked, and gaze back at your knees. If you're like, you know what, I am ready for this today. I want to do more triceps. I want to get strong arms. then I challenge you to try what I'm going to do next. Because all you're going to do is, instead of predominantly using both arms, you're going to focus on a single tricep group. So place yourself again in hands and knee pose, tabletop. Once you're there, get those index fingers forward, those thumbs inward as much as you can. The more weight you have in that area, the better you're going to be. Check in that your hips are still stacked on top of your knees. Then in this position, you're going to stay here if you already struggled with the first one. If you want to make it a little bit harder, here's what you're going to do, guys. Take your left leg and straighten your left leg out behind you. Now, you can keep your leg just straight out behind you, or what you can do is even lift your leg a tiny, tiny bit from the floor, but not a lot. You pick what you want to do. So in this position, we are predominantly going to be working on left triceps. You will feel that in a second, I promise. So your options are, remember, modifications don't mean weakness. They mean you're meeting yourself where you are today. Option 1, you keep both knees where they are. Option 2, the left leg is straight behind you, but the foot is still on the floor. And the hardest, option 3, you're bracing through your abdominals, squeezing through that left glute and lifting that left foot up off the floor about an inch or 2. We're only doing 3 of these, so don't worry. Take a nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, drop your elbows down, gaze back at your right knee. Now, here's the hard part. Inhale, push, push, push up. You've got it. Exhale, drop those elbows down. Inhale, push up. Oh boy, that's lots of work on that left tricep. Exhale, dropping down. One last time, guys. Can you inhale and push up through that left tricep and drop that left knee down? Did you feel it as much as I did? I hope you did. Let's try it on the opposite side. So again, really make sure that you've got the index fingers and thumbs in the position that you need them to be. Have yourself in tabletop position, primarily focusing on these right triceps this time. Option number 1, you keep yourself right where you are. You're just going to do 3 more tricep push-ups. Option number 2, want to put a little bit more weight on that right tricep, just bring the right leg long. Final option, you want to make it even harder and really work that right tricep. Brace through the abdominals, squeeze through the glutes, and lift that right leg up a teeny tiny bit. All right, here we go. Starting with an inhale, exhale, dropping those elbows down, gaze to that left knee. You've got it. Inhale, push, 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 push up. Exhale, dropping down. Inhale, pushing up, brace through the abdominals, squeeze through your glutes if your leg is lifted. Exhale, pushing down, gaze at that left knee. And inhale, pushing up, and exhale, drop that leg down or bring that leg in if you had it in. Sit yourself back in triceps. Good news, I promise you, we are 100% done with triceps. And then slowly settle yourself back in child's pose. So we're kind of using our child's pose today as our little rest or respite in between each group of muscles that we're working. We really, really worked our shoulder blades in sitting. We just worked our triceps and our wrist flexors a lot. And so now we're going to go back to those shoulder blades and chest muscles a little bit. So now in this position, take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. One more, really breathe into that low back. Nice deep inhale into that low back. And exhaling out. Most excellent. Okay, you're coming back up onto your knees. Now, we're not going to be there for long. So if your knees are already talking to you, don't worry about it. We're only going to be there for 5 simple exercises. But if you need to double up your yoga mat because your knees are not so happy, then feel free to do that. And then bring yourself back to tabletop position. In tabletop position, we're going to be doing some strengthening for muscle called serratus anterior. Now, that muscle sits right here on our body. So it's our punching muscle, but we're going to do it without weight because guess what, guys? We've got weight. It's called our body. So place yourself in tabletop position, stack those hips on the knees, gaze back, make sure the feet line up with the knees, wrists and elbows underneath the shoulders, index fingers forward, thumbs into one another. Allow yourself to lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take an inhale, push into your index fingers and thumbs. And as you exhale, spread your shoulder blades away as much as you can. So it's kind of like a component of cat pose. But I really want you to gaze at your index fingers and thumbs as you push the rib cage away. When you inhale, just come back to neutral. Don't go to cow pose. Ready? Exhale, push yourself away from your mat. Inhale, rest in tabletop. Exhale, push yourself away from your mat. You've got it. And inhale back to tabletop and sit yourself one last time in child's pose. We are done with hands and knees, but we are not done in this position. So allow yourself, if you had your mat doubled, tripled, whatever you did, to slowly undo that. Sit yourself back one more time. Rest your chest onto your knees, crown of the head on the floor, or wherever it can go. Remember, guys, don't let your head dangle in the air. So if you need additional support for the crown of your head, you can use a yoga block. Right now, I'm demonstrating a great way to be in child's pose if you've got a tight neck and upper back, where you lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and you put your crown of your head on your two fists. So do whatever works best for you today. Find what's the right yoga for you. All right, now, slowly bring yourself back up on the hands and knees, but guys, we're not staying there. Crawl yourself so that your hands are now about a half a foot, about 6 inches away from the top of your mat. All right, once you have that, check in that your index fingers are pointed forward, your thumbs are inward, your outer 3 fingers are spread outward. And then allow yourself to stack your elbows and shoulders directly on top of those wrists. We are going to go through the stages of plank pose. Plank is a fantastic arm strengthener. So I want to make sure we all do this safely and you at home find the right plank for you. So in this position, take a moment to inhale and squeeze your shoulder blades together, kind of sort of cow pose. And then as you exhale, do another serratus punch and spread it apart and find the middle position between those two. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Now that you're there, option number 1 for plank. Simply walk your knees a foot away from your arms, but you don't lose the alignment of your elbows, wrists, and shoulders. This may be your plank pose today. In this position, I want you to brace nice and hard through your abdominals, keep your spine nice and stable, but most importantly, it's a strong arm class. Make sure you do not collapse through your shoulder blades. All right, option number 2, if you want to, turn your toes under, lift your knees, squeeze through your glutes, tighten through your quadriceps, push back through your heels, and allow yourself to keep those wrists and elbows and shoulders perfectly stacked one on top of the other. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Hopefully you are at home feeling a nice good shake in your plank. Maintain this here. Give me a deep inhale and an exhale. One more time, guys. Deep inhale and an exhale. And then if you were in that full plank, drop your knees, drop the tops of your feet, and then bring yourself down onto your elbows. Settle yourself onto your belly. Now, if you are someone that is in class today and you've got a sensitive low back, it does not like extension at all. Where I am right now may not be a good place for you. So that bolster that we threw away earlier, maybe you want to grab that and put that underneath you, maybe just a small pillow. Pick what you want to for whatever your low back needs. Now, in this position, allow yourself to stack your elbows directly underneath your shoulders and kind of lift and lengthen your legs out behind you. But if you look back behind you, your legs are about 6 inches apart or hip distance. Index fingers are forward here. Thumbs are pointed inward. Outer 3 fingers are outward. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Get it all stacked up with your rib cage. You gaze down at your thumbs here for me. Now, in this position, what I want you to do is take an inhale and let your shoulder blades squeeze together as much as they can. And then as you exhale, push your shoulder blades away from one another. It is exactly the same as we did on hands and knees. So it's for that serratus muscle. Inhale, drop the rib cage, squeeze the shoulder blades together, but we're getting a little bit more thoracic extension in this position. Exhale, spread the shoulder blades apart from one another. Keep your gaze at your thumbs as your neck is long, your chin is tucked. One more time here. Inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, push those shoulder blades nice and wide apart from one another. Okay, now can you place the shoulder blades in the position halfway between the two things that we just did? Now that you have that there, slowly allow yourself to take your palms and lift your palms upward. All right, your thumbs are pointed outward now. In this position, don't change your shoulder blade position. Push into your elbows so that you've got that weight. Slowly allow yourself to turn your thumbs out. Aha. Hello, rotator cuff. Hold this position. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Keep trying to push your thumbs away from one another. Give me a nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling out, gazing down, neck is long, chin is tucked. One more time, deep inhale into the belly. And exhale, turn the hands back in line with the elbows, turn the palms down, rest yourself down onto your yoga mat. You can make kind of a diamond shape with your hands or just stack one hand on top of the other and rest your head down. All right, we're going to stay in this position for a second, doing a little bit more strengthening through the back of our shoulders and our shoulder blades. So check in for a moment that you aren't feeling any tension in your low back. If you are, just give yourself a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So tighten those abdominal muscles, keep those glutes engaged so that you're okay laying on your belly. We're just going to be here for a few more minutes. And then in this position, allow the crown of your head to come down onto your mat. Now, if you've got any sort of issues with your neck, one thing that you can do that sometimes is a good cheat is you can roll your yoga mat up a little bit and rest the crown of your head on that so that you've got somewhere to breathe into. I like to do that. And then take your arms and bring your arms out beside you. Elbows are bent. We're back to that goalpost position again. Thumbs are lifted this time. Keep your neck long, your chin tucked as you're gazing down onto your mat. And then in this position, take an inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the elbows nice and high, hold here for a hold. And then as you exhale, drop them both back down onto the mat. We're going to do that 4 more times. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms. Exhale, drop them back down. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms. Thumbs are reaching so high for the ceiling. Exhale, drop back down 2 more times. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades first. Lift the arms up. Exhale, relaxing down 1 last time. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Lift those arms up. And exhale, relax down. Beautiful. Now place your hands underneath your shoulders. Slowly tuck your elbows in, tuck your tailbone under first, and begin to push yourself back into child's pose. Pushing back into child's pose. Settle your sit bones towards your heels, belly towards your thigh, knees towards your chest. Start to lengthen your neck, settle the crown of your head towards the floor, opening up through that low back. For those of us that don't like that position very much, and then begin resting here. 2 nice, slow, deep inhales and exhales. So give me a deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Very nice. Now, slowly bring yourself up. Now, Believe it or not, we are going to try a quick downward dog. Now, we're going to do different downward dogs for different people, just like we've been modifying everything. But downward dog is a fantastic yoga pose to work on your arm strength. So you do what's comfortable for you at home. I'm going to give you variations of it so you can kind of play with what works best for you. But I promise as soon as we do downward dog, we're going to be making it onto the mat on our back. So find yourself halfway in your mat so that your knees are underneath your hips, and take your hands and place your hands for today's class. Allow your hands to be slightly forward of your shoulders. In that position, index fingers are forward, thumbs are in, outer three fingers, spread them out. So you could line your elbows and wrists with your shoulders, but your hips would be in front of your hips. So I just want you in a little bit of a wider tabletop than we normally would do. All right. Now, in this position, what I then want you to do is to turn your toes under. Those of you that have any sort of issues with your toes, allow yourself when you turn your toes under to be careful, but do what your body can do. Any sort of fusion where you can't get that toe extension, you're going to have to walk yourself up into that final position I'm going to talk about in just a second. Now, push your shoulder blades away from you, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale, push into your index fingers and your thumbs, and then on your exhale, just lift your knees up off the floor. So there's option number one. You're doing lots of arm strength there. Option number two, you take the inhale, and as you exhale, you lift your hips into the air as your neck goes long, chin tucks, and you gaze at your knees. Full downward dog, option number three. As that tailbone lifts and you gaze at your knees, you start to straighten your knees and push your heels down into the mat. So you pick where you are with your downward dog, but your focus today is pushing those hands down into the mat. You should feel some nice, good shaking in your shoulders and in your arms. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhaling out. Nice deep inhale. Now, as you exhale, if you're in full downward dog, can you bend your knees and lift your heels? You've got it. Take another deep inhale. And then on your exhale, can you bring the weight back over those shoulders, but keep the heels lifted? Beautiful arm strength, guys. Another inhale. Exhale. Drop the knees down, let the tops of the feet hit the floor. All right, now slowly allow yourself to turn onto your side. Once you've laid down onto your side, you're ready to lay down onto your back. So slowly roll yourself over onto your back. Get yourself in a comfortable position for you. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat. Play for a second with your pelvis. Make sure that you're comfortable with your tuck and your tilt and you're somewhere in between so that your lumbar spine is in a happy position. All right. Now, in this position, all I want you to do is roll your shoulder blades underneath you for a second, lengthen through your neck, settle your chin. Have it so that your fingertips are still pointed up, so your elbows are still bent. And can you kind of feel that position by bringing your arms out to the side until your elbows are just the width of your yoga mat. So feel where that is. All right. And close your eyes. Remember, your neck is long, your chin is tucked here. And then take your palms and face the palms towards your face or your shoulders. And then just gently let your elbows bend so that the tips of your fingertips are touching the front of your shoulders. Now, in this position, here's what I want you to do. Simply squeeze your shoulder blades together and feel how much those beautiful shoulders start to settle and drop towards the yoga mat as you do that. Remember to keep your neck long, your chin tucked. We're really working on trying to get some length between that connection of our shoulders and our spine here. So that neck position is super important. Now, here's all that we're going to do. Maybe put a little bit of abdominal bracing into your body. So all of a sudden kind of tighten that transversus abdominis, that lower abdominal, so that your spine does not move. And then as you inhale, moving nothing with your spine, not your neck, not your chin, not your low back, just simply inhale and let the palms come downward towards the floor so that your knuckles touch the floor. And then as you inhale, bring those fingertips back up and let those fingertips touch the tops of the shoulders again. Push the shoulders down into the yoga mat. Feel the shoulder blades engage. Inhale, straighten the elbows. Knuckles come to the floor, palms are lifted. And then as you exhale, bring those fingertips back to the shoulders. Keep your neck long, your chin tucked. We're going to do that 2 more times. Shoulder blades engaged. Abdominals engaged. Spine is stable. Inhale, simply straighten those elbows, knuckles to the floor, palms lifted to the sky. And then as you exhale, bring those hands back inward so that the fingertips are touching the front of the shoulders. And one more time, squeezing those shoulder blades back, dropping those shoulders into the mat. Inhale, straightening those elbows, knuckles to the mat or floor, palms lifted, and then exhaling, fingertips back to the front of those shoulders. You've got it. Slowly keep your fingertips onto the front of the shoulders, but lift your elbows up towards the ceiling now. So we're working the back of our shoulder joints, our posterior deltoids, and also some of our shoulder muscles. We're taking our wrists and our hands and our elbows out of the equation. So now in this position, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. As you inhale, open your arms as wide as you can. Let your elbows touch the floor on each side of your mat. Exhale, bring them back together. Can you touch your elbows together? Lengthen your neck, settle your chin 4 more times. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, can you touch your elbows together? Gaze at them. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, lifting, elbows touch. 2 more times. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, lifting. And 1 more time. Inhaling, opening. And exhaling, lifting. Beautiful. Spread the elbows apart from one another. Slowly drop the elbows back down onto the floor. And then take your right knee and bring it up to your chest, hands around the shin bone. Nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently hug that knee to the chest. Not working on the legs too much today, but let's give the glutes and the back a little bit of love here. So just hold this position, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and give me a nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. 1 more time, please. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Slowly dropping the right knee down to the floor. And then on an inhale, left knee up, hands around the shin bone. Exhale, pulling that knee into your chest. Check in that your foot and your ankle still line up with your hip and knee. Deep inhale here. Exhale, nice deep knee into chest. Now get your biceps working here. So pull that knee in. This is a good opportunity to work the biceps of your arms. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. 2 breaths here. Deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling out. And 1 more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slowly dropping the left knee or foot back to the floor. Right leg, bringing it straight down on your mat. Left foot, place it on top of your right thigh. Right hand, reach for the left knee. Left hand, gently bring it out to the side of your body. Now take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, start to lift and twist that pelvis, that low back, and then that rib cage as the left knee goes to the right, finding your spinal twist. Keep that left shoulder blade down. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then take your gaze towards your left hand. Nice deep inhale into your belly here. And exhaling out. And 1 more time. Nice deep inhale in. and exhaling out. Slowly bringing your head back to the center, starting with that left rib cage and letting it come back down onto the mat first, followed by that low back, followed by that pelvis. And then the knee is upright, and then the left foot places itself back onto the mat. Slide the right leg up, slide the left leg down. Right foot on top of that left thigh, left hand to the right knee, right hand out to the side of the body, taking a nice deep inhale here. And then on your exhale, knee is coming to the left as you lift the pelvis, lift the low back, lift that rib cage, keep that right shoulder blade down, lengthen the neck, settle the chin, slowly turn your gaze towards your right hand. And deep inhale here. And exhaling out. One more breath, nice deep inhaling in and exhaling out. Slowly bringing your head back to the center, starting at that rib cage and derotating it first, followed by the low back, followed by that pelvis, and then finally that knee comes upright and that right foot sits onto the floor. Slide the left leg up. Once both legs are bent, gently bring both knees to your chest for a minute. One final strengthening of our upper body. We're going to really use our biceps here. So here's what I want you to do. Walk your fingertips as far down towards your ankle bones as you feel your flexibility has for you. Relax your ankles. Allow your toes to point away from you. In this position, pull your shoulder blades back and down. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gaze at your knees. Now think about your biceps. That's the connection between your elbows and your shoulders. Keeping that chin tucked, that neck long, can you inhale and use your biceps to lift your rib cage and your head upright? Gazing now into your belly button. Hold yourself here. Let those biceps have this little bit of work. Keep that neck long, that chin tucked. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly let those elbows straighten as that entire rib cage and neck comes back down onto the floor. And then gently drop your right foot to the floor, your left foot to the floor. Rest your shoulder blades underneath you. Arms are out to the side, palms are lifted, and then gently slide each of your heels to the corners of your mat. All right, now that you're there, we're just going to do a little tiny bit of progressive neuromuscular relaxation through our arms. Since that's what we focused on today, we're going to keep the focus right there. And so now in this position, what I want you to do is take all of your fingers and curl your fingers into the middle of your palm, and then take your thumbs and wrap your thumb around your fingers. See if you can line your thumbs up with your third finger knuckle. Got it? Make sure that the tops of your hands are resting onto the floor. Now take an inhale and nicely grip and squeeze through those fingers and those thumbs. Hold your breath. And then as you exhale, open those hands up like a beautiful blossom of a flower. You've got it. Now the knuckles and the tops of the hands are touching the floor without moving your arms, without moving your elbows. Using your wrist, start to push the knuckles deeper down into the floor. Take a deep inhale as you're pushing downward. Hold your breath here. And then as you exhale, relax your wrists completely. Now moving up to your elbows. Those forearms onto the floor right now. Start to gently push the forearms down into the floor. You'll feel your triceps and your back of your shoulders, your posterior deltoids engaged. Take an inhale as you're holding it here. And then as you exhale, relax through those arms. Now your shoulders. What I want you to do is strategically use those shoulder blades, roll them under and see if you can get those outer parts of your shoulders to touch your yoga mat. Yes, you'll feel your lifting of your chest, the opening of your chest. Take a deep inhale here, pushing those shoulders down into your mat. Hold it here. And then as you exhale, relax that. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Just go up to your cranium, go up to your skull for a moment. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long and that chin kind of just settled and falling into your throat. Take a nice deep inhale here. Start to push your head down into your yoga mat. You may even feel your spinal muscles and your glutes engage as you do that, but keep that chin tucked as you hold your breath. And then as you exhale, relax that head. Keep your body nice and still. Rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth, the tips touching the back of the top teeth. And simply take a slow inhale into your nose. And an even slower exhale out. 2 more times. Slowly inhale into the nose. Feel that whole entire abdomen lifting as that air gets to the bases of our lungs. And slowly, even slower, exhale that air out. 1 more breath. Slow inhale. Relax your tongue. And slowly, slowly exhale that air out. Now gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then move your wrists, move your ankles. Gosh, it feels so good to be here. I just want to stay here. If you're with me at home and you want to stay there, just stay there. Allow your legs to slide up. And then when you're ready, let yourself roll over onto your side. Allow yourself to rest there for a moment. And then when you have a nice good exhale in you, bottom elbow, top hand, push yourself up into a seated position. Finding yourself in easy pose, hands are to our hearts and smiles are on our faces. Oh boy, my arms are feeling strong. I hope they even feel a little sore tomorrow. Take a deep inhale in and exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today.